Gourmet Guitars, the best luthiers DVD series. From guitar enthusiasts for guitar enthusiasts.
And this one wants to be one of those, one of those definitely superior instruments. And like that, so. Yeah, see, this gives you your contours. You more visibly accessible this way. And see how it's chipping right there? It means that I've got to go the other way. See, this is not a perfect piece of wood, I mean, a lot of people would not have selected this piece to build with because it's got what they call knot shadow in it, where the grain comes along and kind of goes around where a knot would be. And so there's an undulation in the direction of the grain right in here. So I've got to carve one direction, one place, and just an inch over or so, I've got to carve in the other direction. Or just go across the grain, See, this is, it's all flat underneath. It's not hollowed out or anything. It's carved from a solid piece, like this. This will be a guitar, but it starts off with, it's at least an inch thick, 25 millimeters. And you carve the contours in it, and once the outside is perfect, then you carve the inside. Carving to some specific contour ideas. I want the recurve area down here to be like maybe 40 millimeters wide or so, maybe a little wider, and for it to flow smoothly into the arch. And not to ramp up and go across. It wants to flow smoothly up. And from the bridge area to the tailpiece, it wants to flatten that arch out some. You'll still have the altitude at the bridge, but it wants to be a straighter section rather than being an arch section. And the same from the bridge to the neck block. So instead of the traditional arching, which I think is a mistaken take on older instruments that have deformed from the string tension. I think that by building a straighter section, it's going to be stronger under compression and will tend to deform much less. Anyway, that's the way I've been building my instruments for a good number of years, and I haven't had any problems since I started doing that. And they sound great. You notice on the D'Angelico, that's not D'Angelico arching. Across it is, but not block to block, end to end. It doesn't hurt the sound. Here's a walnut back. This is going on a 16-inch, that'll be the 8-string. And I got the outside carved, and then what I do is I set the drill press to leave about 1/4 of an inch, and then just drill indiscriminately all the way through the whole thing, and then shave it out to the bottom of those holes. And then I'll come back and I'll start scraping and fine-tuning with the little finger planes. And you take and you twist the the plate a little bit, end to end, and just kind of get an idea of how it responds. You can hear that it's thicker in the center. It gives more of a click, and then it's more resonant as it gets toward the outside. Of course, this is a free plate too, which means it's not attached to anything, and so it's going to have a tendency to vibrate at a much lower frequency, so you get that lower pitch. But when they're glued up, then they'll start singing. And you can refine them after they're glued up. But mostly I got all this stuff, it's all carved down to about where it's going to be. I don't generally have to do much to them after this. The most work that gets done to this piece now will be after the binding goes in, is just to fair this little level table out, this little edge out with the edge of the binding. And just make it all smooth and just a nice flowing line that goes up there. Yeah, they're good. That's going to be a good one. It's not fancy wood, but it's great wood. Yeah, not much figure in it, but it'll sing. I made 5 mandolins one time out of the same boards, and I carved them all to the same archings and the same graduations, and they're all a little different. You could tell they were all like children from a family. You could tell they were all siblings, but they were all individuals. So,
I really believe that the way to enjoy an instrument and use it to its highest purpose is to sit down with it and to listen to it and to ask that guitar what song it would like to play.
I think when you pick up an instrument, unless you're focusing on that stuff, you shouldn't even notice it. It should just disappear, and it's all about the music.
Gourmet Guitars, the best luthiers DVD series. From guitar enthusiasts for guitar enthusiasts.